Hello, Artful Manifestors. Thank you for joining me today for this timeless pick a card tarot reading. I want to let you know that I always align my intentions to bring you messages for your highest and best good. To choose your reading, you're going to choose from one of these crystals I'm about to introduce or one of the cards I'm about to reveal. And then you'll find a link to all the readings in the description box below. All right, for reading number 1, we have Yellow Jasper with Chrysoprase. And for reading number 2, we have Sera, Sera. And for reading number 3, we have Mariposite. If you hear noises in the background, those are the dogs. You can see them on Instagram if you look for me there. All right, let's look at the cards. For reading number 1, this is the image. And for reading number 2, this is the image. And for reading number 3, this is the image. All right, let your intuition, your inner wisdom guide you. Whichever picture or crystal you're most drawn to is most likely the reading meant for you. Of course, if you're drawn to 2 or even all 3 of the images or crystals, feel free to watch all of them or 2 of them, as there may be additional guidance for you there. Enjoy your reading. Hello, reading number 1. You chose Maat, truth, fairness, and the feather of the heart. In the ancient Egyptian pantheon, Maat is not merely a goddess. She is the embodiment of cosmic order itself. She represents truth, balance, fairness, and moral integrity. In Egyptian belief, the universe was sustained through the maintenance of Maat, and without her, chaos would reign. The ostrich feather, used in the weighing of the heart ceremony, the heart of the deceased was weighed against Maat's feather. A heart light with truth passed into eternal fields. A heart heavy with lies or cruelty was devoured by Anmit. Maat governs divine justice, ethical behavior, and social harmony. She is both the principle and the personification of moral rightness. And the crystal that you chose, Yellow Jasper and Chrysoprase, it's a naturally occurring combination that is rare and potent. This union harmonizes the solar plexus and the heart chakra, activating willpower in service of compassion. So yellow jasper is the part that activates the solar plexus chakra. It grounds spiritual work in practical action, strengthens perseverance, self-confidence, and determination. It offers protective, nurturing energy during change and promotes clarity in decision-making and steadiness in pursuing goals. The chrysoprase is the heart chakra. That's these darker green. It encourages compassion, forgiveness, and emotional renewal. It aids in healing from heartbreak or emotional wounds. It opens the heart to trust, joy, and new beginnings. It enhances connection to nature and the divine flow of life. So together, these two stones align your will with your higher values, much like Maat's principle of truth guided decisions. And it softens ambition with kindness, ensuring success is pursued ethically. And it supports speaking and living your truth without closing the heart, and fosters leadership rooted in fairness, empathy, and moral clarity. So let's ask the cards for some more information. The message is already beginning to form. The tarot is going to reveal more about where truth must rise within you as a lived rhythm. It may point to moments where integrity is tested. Woo! Okay, 4 cards came out. The 8 of Cups, the King of Sacred Circles, and the 7 of Circles. Let's see if we can't make these all fit here. And the Chariot. All right, and I was going to say, as the cards were jumping out, that they're going to show us where you're called to step forward as a fair leader in your own life, or where the balance between self-protection and generosity must be restored. These cards are going to bring clarity to the scales you hold inside and what you are ready to release so that your heart grows lighter. And with the 8 of Cups, we're asking where truth is being asked of you now. And this is the truth. You can't unknow, excuse me, anymore. Something in your life, a relationship, a role, a commitment has run its course. You've invested deeply, yet your spirit now knows it's time to walk towards something else. All right, we're leaving this behind. We're walking towards what looks like a sacred circle, Stonehenge. So whatever that means to you, it's something more emotionally fulfilling, right? This is something that speaks to your spirit that's calling you, and you're turning your back on these cups that don't fulfill you anymore. The 8 of Cups calls you to honor that quiet voice that says there's something more, and to be brave enough to leave behind what's familiar in search of what aligns with your deeper self, your spiritual self, your soul. The King of Sacred Circles answers the question where balance must be restored. This is like the King of Pentacles, and it asks you to ground your energy in stability, abundance, and wise stewardship. Balance must be restored between giving and keeping, between tending your responsibilities and nurturing your own growth. This is about becoming the sovereign king of your own resources. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Becoming sovereign of your time, your age, your energy, your money. So you are not overextending in ways that deplete your foundation, your stability. And the 7 of sacred circles, which would be the 7 of Pentacles, answers the question, what will be released to lighten your heart? Here, you release the pressure of perfect timing. This is growing your resources in an organic and natural way. By releasing perfect timing and the weight of expectations about how fast your efforts must bear fruit, the 7 of sacred circles reminds you that growth has its own rhythm. You're releasing pressure by releasing this timing, this expectations. You're releasing that weight. Some seasons are for planting, others are for waiting, and others are for harvest. By releasing this urgency, comparison to others, how fast their journey's gone. This person's already married. This person's already graduated. This person's already has grandkids. This person, whatever it is, fill in the blank. Don't compare yourself. Don't make your timeline try to match theirs. And if you release that comparison and that urgency, you're going to release frustration with the pace of progress, and your heart will feel lighter and more trusting of the process. There are some plants that grow very quickly and bear fruit very quickly, and there are other plants and trees that grow slowly, but they have a stable foundation, and they grow a legacy. So don't worry about timing. And then we have the Chariot reversed. And this answers the question how you can act with both courage and compassion. So this is, because it's reversed, this is not forcing forward momentum or trying to control every outcome. The Chariot reversed asks you to act with intention rather than sheer willpower. So before you act, ask yourself what you truly want. Not in the details, but in the big picture. And this will help guide your intention rather than your will. What does that mean? That means if you have a goal to get in better shape, you want to be more healthy. Some part of you may think that there's a specific way to do that, to eat specific foods, to avoid specific foods, to go to the gym, do certain exercises. But there may be a better way to do it. So if something prevents you from going to the gym that day or eating something you had planned to eat, being open and adaptable and focusing on what is my overall goal. My goal wasn't to just eat that thing today or to go to the gym. My goal is actually to improve my health. So what is the universe flowing to me that's helping me improve my health? And it's going to be there. And by doing that, you're going to move through life with more compassion for yourself, for others. You're going to have the courage to pursue your goals in an organic, go with the flow kind of way. So this is about pausing to realign your direction and making sure your actions come from that place of clarity and heart alignment, not ego or external pressure. Compassion means allowing yourself and others the grace to course correct without judgment and to be adaptable. Really great reading. Reading number 1. So happy for you. Really great cards. Thank you, Maat, for such a wonderful message. Please let me know what you think. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 2. You chose the card Osiris, Death and Rebirth. Osiris, the great king of Egypt and god of the afterlife, resurrection, and fertility, is the eternal reminder that endings are not the final chapter. They are thresholds, liminal spaces. Betrayed and slain by his own brother Set, Osiris was reassembled and revived by the devotion of Isis, becoming ruler of the underworld and a symbol of renewal. This is about transformation, renewal after loss, fertility of new cycles, the power of love and devotion to restore life, and it's an invitation to let go of what no longer breathes life into you so the seeds of something greater can take root. Recognize that death, whether literal, emotional, or symbolic, is a portal to rebirth. The crystal that you chose, I don't know if it's pronounced Sera, but I want to say Sera, like the song, Sera, Sera, whatever will be, will be. It's sometimes called the stone of the happy-go-lucky. Is a rare synergistic combination of minerals that work like a multi-tool for your soul. It aligns with your highest path without overthinking the how. It encourages you to release worry and trust in divine timing. It lifts mood and eases stress while sparking optimism. It opens intuition and connects you to your higher guidance for decision making. It's both grounding and uplifting. It's like when you have all your ducks in a row and you don't have anything to worry about and you just feel so light and happy-go-lucky. It helps you take bold steps toward change without being weighed down by fear. So Osiris with Sera together speak of trusting the transformation, stepping into endings with the faith that renewal is already on the horizon. Osiris brings the deep work of surrender and regeneration, And Sera brings the reminder that you don't have to control every detail to find your way through. This is the energy of rebirth without resistance, allowing the old to complete its cycle so that the new can emerge naturally while you remain steady, open, and attuned to guidance. Let's see. I feel like you are ready for a change that is so profound. It will feel like another version of you is being born. This is the kind of shift that comes after something has reached its full arc. Oh, 2 cards came out. We have the 6 of Staves and the Ace of Staves. The Ace of Cups. And the Hanged One. Look at that, though. We're talking about being reborn, and here we have the embryo. Wow. I love the imagery already. And here we have an Ankh, which is about life, creation of life. The Ace of Cups. Wow. This is huge. The 6 of Staves, which is like the 6 of Wands. This is like the Ace of Wands. This is recognition. Look at that. They're having a parade for him. This is huge, huge. All right. And I say embryo, but it's not actually an embryo. It's just an unborn child, which usually develops upright. And then when it's ready to be born, right, it gets into position and turns upside down. So you're definitely rebirthing something about yourself. You're being reborn. With Osiris and Sera, you're at this threshold. One cycle's ready to complete. Something vivid and alive is waiting to emerge. What is ready to end or be released in your life? The 6 of Staves. There's an identity or role that's tied to external validation that's ready to shift. So you may have been known for something celebrated. And sometimes that can be hard to give up, right? Let's say you're a professor somewhere and all the students love you and you're known, but you want to move on to something else. You just don't want to leave what you already know, what's comfortable, this external validation, the popularity that you have. But in your heart, you know there's something else, something more calling your soul. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying being celebrated. You deserve it. You worked hard for this. Osiris is reminding you, you are more than your last victory. This ending is not a loss. It's the release of an old identity, role, an old banner, so that you can march forward under a new one that aligns with who you are now. not just who you are. You know what it reminds me of is musicians. You have a band that does really well and they're known for this type of music, and then they decide they want to do something else. Maybe they want to do a different type of music, or maybe one of those musicians decides they want to become an actor, or vice versa. An actor decides they want to become a musician. It's still part of your story. You're still going to depend on the experience and knowledge gained in that role. But we are beautiful beings that are ever evolving and growing, and you're ready for this next chapter. And how wonderful that you get the Ace of Staves next. What new energy or opportunity is ready to be born? This is a spark of pure life force igniting. The Ace of Staves is a fresh passion, a creative project, or a powerful new direction that excites your spirit. I'm seeing somebody who teaches one kind of class beginning to teach another kind of class. Or somebody that's been teaching art now shifting into focusing on art shows, art exhibitions, and installations, or the other way around. This is the resurrection moment, a new fire in your hands, still warm from the ashes of what came before. Sera, it amplifies this by encouraging you to follow the spark without overthinking the how. You don't need the entire map. You just need to say yes to this pulse of energy. Definitely creating something with this Ankh. And Sera is a mixture of quartz, kaolinite, magnetite, lepidolite, chlorite, feldspar, calcite. So this mix is what gives it this kind of mottled look. And energetically, it works like this self-adjusting tool because it has all of these minerals to call upon, to bring forward the qualities that you most need in the moment. And that's why it's often described as whatever will be, Sera. Whatever will be, because you have the tool to adjust to whatever comes up. So it supports that surrender to divine flow while giving you exactly the energetic boost that you need for your current phase. And the Ace of Cups, what guidance will help you move through the transition with trust? Lead with your heart. The Ace of Cups is the opening of emotional channels, love, intuition, spiritual connection. If the Ace of Staves is your torch, the Ace of Cups is your compass. So letting joy, compassion, and emotional truth guide your steps. And here, Sera says, let yourself feel good in the process, even if everything is new. Trust that what is meant for you will fill your cup naturally. And aces are like gifts. So you're receiving 2 gifts. So beautiful. I'm also hearing second chance. Like there was something that you always wanted to do, and somehow you took this other path and you excelled and you were celebrated for this. But now the conditions are such that you have a second chance at that thing that you always wanted to do. So if that resonates with you, let me know, because I heard it clearly. Second chance. All right. And the Hanged One. So much newness. Yeah, this is so beautiful. I love all of the newness that you got after this death and rebirth, because it's like the death has already happened and it's not a negative situation. It's just, it's run its course, and look at all the birth and new energy in your cards. Your gift is a transformed perspective. You have a new way of looking at things. And, this baby doesn't have a choice. It's going to be born, right? So through surrender and patience, you gain wisdom that can't be rushed. It's going to happen when it happens, and it is going to happen. The Hanged One is the pause that changes everything, a willingness to see the world from a new angle before acting, right? And you're in position. You're ready. Osiris knows this liminal space well. It is the cocoon where the rebirth is prepared. Sera reminds you to let this suspension be nourishing rather than frustrating, because it is in this space that you receive the insight to move forward in true alignment. I mean, you're definitely being nourished, you're growing. So even though it seems like we're waiting for that birth, there's still a lot happening. A lot is developing and growing and forming in the process before that birth happens. So the cycle closing for you is one of being defined by past achievements or external approval. And what's being born is a double blessing: new passion, new emotional flow. And the guidance is to lead with the heart, not just ambition. And the gift you take with you is the ability to pause, surrender, adapt, call upon all of those minerals, so to speak, and see from a higher vantage point before leaping. This is Osiris's journey in miniature: the death of the old self, the spark of resurrection, the heart-led devotion that fuels the new life, and the wisdom gained in the in-between. The Sera energy weaves through it all, helping you release control and trust what's emerging is exactly what your soul asked for. Amazing. Reading number 2, wow. Please let me know what you think. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 3. You chose the card Geb, Prosperity. And Geb, the Egyptian god of the earth, is the fertile ground from which all abundance springs. His laughter was said to cause earthquakes, and his body itself formed the soil, mountains, and valleys of Egypt. As the father of snakes and husband to Nut, the sky goddess, Geb is the very embodiment of earthly prosperity and the living, life-giving gifts of the land. I was trying to see if there were any snakes in this image, but I didn't see any. This is about physical abundance, fertility, nourishment, stability, grounded success, and it's an invitation to recognize the prosperity already present in your life, not only in wealth, but in health, relationships, creativity, and opportunities. Prosperity flows most freely when you nurture what you have with gratitude and wise stewardship. And the crystal you chose, Mariposite, is a green, chromium-rich mica often found in white dolomite or quartz, giving it a striking mix of shimmer and stability. It calms emotional turbulence and brings patience in times of transition. It encourages flexibility and adaptability while staying grounded, and supports prosperity and success by reducing stress around change. It boosts self-confidence and clarity when making choices about resources or relationships. And like a fertile field after rain, lush, steady, and ready to support new growth without forcing it. A perfect coupling with Geb. Geb and Mariposite together are a powerfully stabilizing combination. Geb offers the fertile soil of opportunity, while Mariposite ensures you have the calm adaptability to make the most of what's growing. This energy says your prosperity is both what you cultivate and how you tend it during change. Yes, this speaks of wealth in its truest sense, the resources, relationships, and opportunities that grow when we tend our lives with care. Geb offers you fertile ground, and Mariposite brings the patience and calm to let you harvest, mature at its own pace. So the tarot is going to help us uncover where your prosperity is taking root now and how you can nurture it into lasting abundance. What area of your life holds the greatest potential for prosperity right now? These cards are so big. King of Cups. All right. What action or nurturing will help this prosperity grow? The Moon. What obstacle or mindset needs to shift to allow greater abundance? The Five of Cups. And what will be the long-term reward of tending your prosperity well? What will be your long-term reward? The Hanged One. All right, this came out in the last reading, pile number 2, in the same place. So interesting. Lots of water in this. You know, the baby is still in the womb, in the water. You have the Five of Cups, the King of Cups, and of course the Moon, which controls the tides. So fulfillment and happiness and abundance of that, prosperity and fulfillment and happiness already. And with Mariposite, the stone of grounded adaptability, and Geb, god of earth and prosperity, it's speaking of nurturing life like a living garden. one that thrives not just through action, but through patience, emotional steadiness, and wise tending. So let's see where this abundance is taking root right now. What area of your life holds the greatest potential for prosperity right now? The King of Cups. Your emotional mastery and empathy are your richest resources right now. The King of Cups suggests that your prosperity will flow through emotional intelligence, compassionate leadership, and your ability to hold steady waters for yourself and others. Steady emotions. Geb grounds this in the real world. Your capacity to connect and guide is something that can manifest in tangible rewards. And Mariposite keeps you calm when emotions around you are turbulent, ensuring your influence remains steady and nourishing. Emotional mastery and empathy. I feel like this came up in yesterday's or the day before the reading about being compassionate without being entangled. This high emotional intelligence. And the moon, what action or nurturing will help this prosperity grow? The moon invites you to trust your intuition and move gently through uncertainty. Not everything will be clear in the moment, but you have an inner guidance system that's going to act as your compass. It does act as your compass, and it's just a matter of listening to it. This is a call to tend the unseen, your dreams, your subconscious, your quiet instincts. Geb says, just as seeds germinate in the darkness before sprouting, the unseen phases of your growth are just as important as what is visible. And Mariposite supports you in staying patient, not rushing to dig up what's still taking root. And what action or nurturing will help this prosperity grow? Oh, we already talked about that. The obstacle or mindset needs to shift is the Five of Cups. And this is going to allow greater abundance. So the Five of Cups shows a focus on what has been lost or what hasn't worked out. So when you remember, we talked about with Geb cultivating abundance through appreciation with what you have. And the Five of Cups is the opposite of that. It's looking at failures, mistakes, this cup that spilled, loss, things that didn't work out. Where the attention goes, the energy flows. So you have to shift your gaze to what remains, what you still have, what is still thriving. You have a garden, remember. So you plant some seeds. Some things are growing. Some things never sprouted. Some things grew, but they got pests. So you lost those. We can't focus on the ones that didn't sprout or the ones that got pests. Instead, focus on all the plants that are thriving. and appreciate those. And this is going to continue to cultivate your abundance. And also, what can still be created? You still have other seeds that you can plant in the places where things didn't work out. And Geb reminds you that even after a poor harvest, the soil can be enriched for the next planting. Mariposite helps you release disappointment without losing hope, allowing you to see the fertile ground that is still available. And I'm also hearing what is meant for you will reach you. So those seeds that didn't sprout, or those plants that got pests, those weren't meant for you. All right, what's meant for you will flourish, will find you. And just focusing on that, being happy with that, is going to increase your abundance and keep the flow going. What will be the long-term reward of tending your prosperity well? The Hanged One. Your long-term reward is a completely new perspective on what prosperity means to you. One rooted in peace, wisdom, and a deeper trust in the cycles of life. The Hanged One shows that by surrendering to the process and not forcing results, you gain the kind of insight that changes everything. Geb makes this perspective tangible, helping you build a life that's both abundant and deeply aligned. And Mariposite ensures that this transformation comes with calm acceptance rather than resistance, right? There's no resistance in being born in this new phase. It's just a little tweak, the tweak of not looking at what was lost, what didn't grow, or what you perceive as mistakes, and instead seeing it as a blessing, that there's a reason that that didn't work out. It wasn't meant for you, and what is meant for you will find you. Your prosperity right now lies in emotional steadiness and intuitive wisdom. And growth comes from trusting the unseen phases of your work, shifting focus from loss to possibility, and surrendering control so your life can reveal new definitions of wealth and abundance. Geb offers you fertile ground. This is a fertile time for you. This is what getting this card means, is right now what you plant is going to prosper. And Mariposite ensures that you'll adapt to whatever the seasons bring, whether it's drought, flood, rain, too much rain, not enough rain, a lot of sun. You're going to be able to adapt. You're going to be able to use the fertile ground and the conditions together to grow what's meant for you. And together, these energies remind you that true prosperity isn't rushed. It's grown with care, patience, and trust in the cycles that sustain life. So beautiful, so excited for you. Like I said, I see a lot of fulfillment, contentment, joy. And ultimately, when you surrender to the idea that what's meant for you will reach you and what's not meant for you will wither and fall away, when you surrender to that peace, so beautiful. This emotional maturity, intelligence, and peace, and trust in yourself and the unseen. The unseen that's working for you to bring you the right garden, the right growth. Reading number 3. Please let me know what you think. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.